in the communication center of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory located in Pasadena, California. Teletype and radio links are maintained with principal space probe tracking sites, and of course with the Atlantic Missile Range in Florida. Nearby is the big computer which is used to determine flight trajectories and to evaluate the success of space probes. 3,000 miles away across the continent at Cape Canaveral, an Army Juno 2 rocket is poised for the launching of Pioneer 4. Yesterday afternoon, the payload was attached to the fourth and final stage motor and, under a protective covering, taken to the launching pad where the assembly was hoisted into the gantry for mating with the high-speed cluster.
This is the assembled instrumentation, including the battery, power supply, transmitter, and associated electronics. Here is an assembled payload. During the early portions of the flight, the entire high-speed rocket cluster is spinning in order to maintain directional stability.
However, in the months that preceded this firing, there were other preparations equally important to the success of the mission. Near Goldstone Dry Lake, just south of Death Valley, California, a huge radio tracking antenna was constructed to provide a means of tracking the probe and receiving the scientific data it transmits. The Goldstone test station is a vital link in the Pioneer 4 firing. Also a part of the tracking complex is a smaller antenna located in Puerto Rico. The tracking data received by the two antennas and at the launching site will be immediately transmitted to the JPL Computing Center in Pasadena for reduction and analysis. Transmission of such information can be accomplished in a matter of minutes. In addition to teletype communications, radio contact with Cape Canaveral is maintained.
This is Cape Canaveral. We are continuing with the countdown. The time is now X minus 20 minutes. Mark.
We have just been informed that Pioneer 4 liftoff is imminent. Just a moment. Stand by. We are attempting to contact the Cape.
Mark. X minus 20 seconds. X minus 15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Firing command. This is Cape Canaveral Central Control. Liftoff was normal. All stages ignited.
The probe is already far out over the North Atlantic. Puerto Rico is attempting to acquire the signal.
The signal was acquired in Puerto Rico on schedule, and probe telemetering is now being monitored.
At takeoff, the probe will be tracked by conventional radar equipment in Florida. A short time later, the downrange station in Puerto Rico will pick up the signal. As the rocket rises on its trajectory, other stations ringing the Atlantic will also pick up its signal. These stations, however, will soon lose contact because of the rotation of the Earth and the greatly increasing distance. At about X plus 5 hours, when the probe is 60,000 miles out, it will come in line with JPL's long-range receiving station at Goldstone, California. This we call the first acquisition. So sensitive is the Goldstone antenna that it will permit measurement of the probe's trajectory, which will be accurate to 1/10 of a degree. At about X plus 17, Goldstone will lose contact because of the rotation of the Earth. However, enough information will have been transmitted to JPL's computer center to predict exact position of the probe in time and space until the second acquisition occurs. This will be at X plus 29 hours, as the probe again comes above the horizon of the Goldstone station. The antenna will then hold contact as the probe passes into the space beyond the moon.
A favorable flight path has been achieved. It is mathematically certain that Pioneer 4 will reach the vicinity of the moon and will achieve an orbit around the sun. The men at the Goldstone test station made the first California acquisition on March 3 at 3:47 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. On Wednesday, March 4 at 4:33 a.m., the big antenna made contact for the second time. Almost 10 hours later, at 2:26 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the probe passed within 37,000 miles of the moon. And so the firing of Pioneer 4 became history, a significant step in an orderly procession of events.